Fred Warner also not going to play against the Seahawks. Hasn't made as big of an impact this year as he did last year, but he's still the quarterback of the defense. What do you think his absence will mean for the 49ers in this matchup?
I think they can get around it. Again, I think I'll apply the same deal with what I said with Debo, but for even more so with Warner, because I think Debo has a greater impact on the offense. But Warner, I don't think Warner has played. I think Warner has played badly versus the run versus the pass. I think he's had a good year. Just because he's not getting picks doesn't mean he's not covering well. But they can stop the run without him. I think he'll have some of an impact, but they can get by without him. He's still not great versus the run. I mean, I was watching some of the film this past game. The first play when the Vikings run the ball, he gives up his gap, and Eric Armstead makes a play. And if Eric wasn't there, then Cook might have took it to the house because Warner didn't get to his gap. So with some of that stuff, if Seattle's going to try to run the ball, they might be better with if Greenlaw can play and Shair. I think who's that? If one of those guys gets hurt, who's going to step up? That would be the other question. But I think they can get by. I think they can get by without Warner.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. Again, I agree with you. I think the Niners should and will beat the Seahawks this week, but we both think the Seahawks are kind of a live underdog here, and I don't know what Shane Waldron is doing with this offense. He may not know what he's doing, and it looks like they're not doing much of anything. But I know what Pete Carroll philosophically wants to do, just kind of run the ball if he can and beat you up if he can. And if the Niners are down Warner and Greenlaw, as it seems like they will be, then that means their base defense has who at linebacker? Al-Shaair, who's a stud, and Flanagan Foles, and who? Hufanga? So here's the thing. What the Seahawks could theoretically do is try to play, two tight ends and run the ball, which I don't know if they've had any success doing this year, but maybe that could work just because the Niners are a little, they're not really themselves this week. That's one thing. I mean, I would be shocked if Pete Carroll didn't try to do that. That's his DNA.
Yeah, Pete Carroll wants to run
right. And he's looking at the Niners defense this week as like, oh, I got a green light. And it's not like the Niners are going to blow you away with their offense without Debo. They're going to, have slow method. They're going to be running the ball too. It's going to be a low-scoring game.
So, if I recall, I think Al-Shaair is the backup Mike. I think he's been Mike for the last couple of years, so I think he'll probably slide to Mike.
Yep.
It seems like that they prefer Marcel Harris as the backer in.
So you're going to have Harris and Foles flanking him, man. Just saying. You're going to see the Seahawks try to run the hell out of the ball. I don't know if they'll have any success, but if they don't, I guess is what I would say.
Yeah,
I'm offensive line, right? Every year.
I'll be curious to see, and I don't know, Grant, if they've made any moves since. Like, would they bring back like Michael Kendricks? I know wasn't he on the practice squad earlier this year?
That's interesting. They could do something like that. That's a good point. They could make a move midweek because right now they look real light. I mean, they look more built to play like the Cardinals and have a guy like Hufanga at safety and just go dime than they are. You can't do that against the Seahawks because they will just pound you. They'll pound you if you give them the opportunity to.
And the thing about it, it's not just as simple as because the run fits as a linebacker. I mean, some of their defensive safety and the linebackers have some of the same run fits, but playing linebacker, it's different than when you're a safety and you have to play it. You have to play the run a little differently, and usually you're asked to come harder on your fits to be a little bit more aggressive. So if the Seattle is running the football, you really don't want to have safeties as linebackers. But I prefer to have Wasn't Flanagan Foles was a converted safety, wasn't he?
He was. He was. He played safety at Arizona. Yeah. So
Yeah.
just remember, the Niners almost beat Seattle last year with C.J. Beathard. They outgained Seattle this year by, I think, 200 yards at home and lost because they turned the ball over. As long as they don't play sloppy football, which they haven't done in a month, they take care of business in this game even without Fred Warner, although I just feel like it might be a kind of an ugly, low-scoring, uneventful game that probably deserved to get flexed out of primetime.